Hey, Brian Thomas here. Well, right here in front of us, this is our pressure tank on our actual well system here. We live here in Wisconsin. You can hear it right now doing what it's doing, and it's not correct. So if you hear, it is continually cycling at a very short rate. It goes up to about 50-ish PSI, drops down, and kicks on. It kicks on a whole lot. That is not right. So looked at our actual switch here and trying to see if it was our switch. In fact, since they're using it upstairs right now, I can show you what it looks like underneath here. You can just see those contacts opening and closing. But if you further inspection, the pressure switch is not the issue. That is all functioning as it should function. So, what would be our next probable culprit? The actual pressure tank itself. And a great way to test a pressure tank to see if it is failed, aka the bladder's not working, is you have a little what do you call it, like a valve like you have on a bicycle and everything. You press it down. Oh, look at that, got water. That means that the bladder inside here has failed, and since that bladder inside here has failed, we got to replace said tank. Now, I don't think they make them like they used to, because I know for a fact we have some tanks on some of our older properties that are years and years, I'm talking 20 plus years old. This tank right here, I couldn't find any documentation on it. However, this tank does not look like it's that old. It should not be failing like this. This house was built in 1987, I believe, and this is definitely not the original tank that was down here. But neither here nor there. So went out and bought a whole lot of stuff. But while we're out there, started looking at this right here. There's a lot of corrosion going on down here. You got like a check valve here. You got this little pipe right here. Look at all this corrosion underneath the pressure gauge and everything. So we went ahead and bought a whole lot of new stuff. I could probably reuse this pressure switch, but at the cost of $36, and the fact that we're gonna be renting this house out, why leave something in? I'll take that somewhere else. I've got another well system. I'll use that as a spare or something like that. But long story short, we went to Menards, and everything right now is stainless steel. I couldn't find any brass pieces or anything like that. I do have a few other brass pieces here, but I tried to keep everything stainless steel. So the little quarter-inch pipe here that holds up the pressure switch, I did that as stainless steel. I tried to do a stainless steel gauge. The gauge is stainless steel, but this is not. Everything else is brass. But the actual tank itself has a brass elbow connection on the bottom, or not brass, excuse me, stainless steel. So I want to make everything kind of match. The tank that we got is this tank right here. They didn't have the Well X Troll or whatever, so I got this state tank right here. They had a couple other different types there online from Menards. This is one I found in place. So this is a 36-gallon tank. It's a little more squatter and wider, if you will, than this tall tank, but it will work on there just fine and dandy. I think this one right here is about the same size. That might be maybe a 42, but anyways, I was looking between a 30 to 40 gallon tank, and this is what I came up with. This one here, like I said, stainless steel connection. If you notice here in the basement, we're also doing a lot of freaking remodel, excuse me. This right here is going to be my kids' computer desk school area. It's a nice piece of cherry we have here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get everything prepped. First things first, going to secure power to the pressure switch here. Then I'm going to secure this valve right here so we don't have any water from the house coming back down here, and trying to limit the amount of water. Then I'm going to start draining out this tank as best I can. Now, knowing that this bladder has somehow failed, I probably won't get all the water out of here, but I want to get as much as I can, because that thing, I think, is going to be kind of heavy trying to get it out of here, out of the basement. But whew, always something going on. The joys of home ownership and everything. But all in all, I think the parts were about $500 to do this. If I would have had someone come out here to do it themselves, or to pay someone to do this, it's probably going to be close to $1,000 job. But I figure, $500. I don't think they used to cost that much way back in the day, but the tank itself was $300. But anyways, long story short, let's go ahead and get this thing going. Okay, first things first, we see that the pump is down here. It is 220. We're going to go ahead and secure that. I don't think there's anything else on there, but so that is secured. Now we're going to go over a great way to test this if you do not have mine. Don't mind the mess here. It's absolute disaster down here in this basement as we get ready to move. If you do the little test, aka turn on the water heater. Actually, let me close this valve off. That's a long valve. Travel. Either that or the valve has failed. Has that valve failed too? No, okay. There we go. Go ahead. Let's open this up. If I turn this on, I should not see this. I should see the pressure gauge go down, but I should not see it kick on. You heard it click, but it doesn't have power to it. It's not cycling back on. There we go. We're just going to let this thing drain out. And she's probably going to drain for quite a while because this tank, you can hear there's water in there. It's just going to sit there and drain and drain. You'll probably start hearing some gulping and yeah, I hear something in there. Anyways, that's going to take a while. So while that's draining, I'm going to go ahead and start getting everything disconnected on the pressure switch. Start taking apart all these fittings and stuff. Okay, so since that bladder is full and she is trying to suck air, what I found is if you press down on the Schrader valve here, it'll start like a little geyser. Look at that. And the reason that geyser is there is because I barely touched that pressure valve or that pressure gauge there, and it sheared right off. That sucker was held on there by a hope and a prayer. So this is going to help greatly in draining down that pipe. I've almost unscrewed everything. Breaking things free on this system have proven to be challenging, but we're getting through it. So again, trying to get all this water out of this tank here. You hear it. I think she's getting close. Getting close. Very slow. We're making. I think I've taken 3 or 4 bucketfuls of water out of here, so we should be nearly done. Okay, first disconnect is made, which is good because good thing I've been draining down this whole tank here. Otherwise, I would have water absolutely everywhere instead of water only in a little area. All right, now I'm going to just start disconnecting everything else off of here. And yeah, make sure everything connects back up as intended. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all the electrical connections here. And you just want to take note of how it is hooked up. And I've also taken a picture just so I can go back for reference. I also purchased the exact same pressure switch, so everything should be the same. Okay, so the tank is disconnected. Survey says, yep, I can move it off the wall, but golly, that sucker is still full of water. She is heavy. Whew. All right, so the goal is I'm going to get this out of here, not kill myself, and put the new tank in. And then start doing the reverse process. I do have to get off that fitting there. I want to clean up those connections there. Check valve, everything looks good, so I can reuse those. But fun times. That thing, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably like a freaking 100 pounds. So I'll just have to manhandle out of there and get her where she won't spew water everywhere. So if I put it on its side, it should stop based on physics. So yeah, here we go. Old tank is removed. She is very heavy. And here's some of that water that's in there. And now just gotta do a little bit of cleanup in there before we put new tank in there. Also probably get, I think we're gonna do something fun with this. We'll probably shoot this. Yeah, it's always fun to shoot tanks with guns. All right, let's get to work again. Okay, so I was able to see it's a WX203, which means that this is a 32-gallon tank, which is pretty awesome because I got a 36-gallon tank. So should be pretty comparable in volume and everything else. So yeah, that's good news. So I didn't undersize or oversize. It got pretty much the same thing we got. Okay, so I am very happy about something here. So this connection right here, this comes off, which is absolutely perfect. Because I was worried about this one right here. Just to get this one off, I actually had to tighten it up a whole lot. And I was afraid if I have to back this off, I won't be able to reuse this. However, I will be able to reuse this one. All I'm going to do is unscrew this right here, thread it into this side right here once I clean these threads up and everything, and put some pipe thread on there. And then I'll be able to connect it up to here. That is freaking phenomenal. I was very worried about doing that. Anyways, that's a big win for me. The only thing I did notice is a couple metal shavings. I gotta, when I get this thing off here, I'll look at them. There's a couple metal shavings. Just get that cleaned up and everything. But other than that, this went on perfectly. The tank fits very well. I've already done a fit up. The cool thing is with this check valve right here, there's like a barb fitting, so that is able to turn right there. It's just held on with those little clamp pieces there. But long story short, this is going to make this install so much easier because I was dreading that connection right there. I was like, man, that's an old pipe, and I didn't want to have to mess with this too much anyways. So very happy. This is going to be much easier than I thought. So woohoo! Okay, to make everything easier, I've got the piece right here. You can see there's a couple of the metal shavings I'm talking about and everything. Just some fit and finish, but overall it looks pretty good. You know. Anyways, I've got this right here for my, this is gonna be for the switch, the pressure switch, which actually is gonna be on that side. I'll put the pressure gauge on that side. I'll put the relief valve on this one right here, and I'll put the drain valve right there. So there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all done in place right here, so I'm not having to crouch down. Got like a nice little bench to work on, and let's get this sucker hooked up, and then we can.
And also do homework with it.
And do homework with it?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
And also do that with it too.
So, all right, let's go ahead and get these all on here. We're also using this pipe thread here. This is really good for stainless steel pipe. So here we go. Okay, folks, so we've made all of our connections. I'm very happy with how everything looks. One interesting thing when you're using any Teflon type tape or whatever, when you put it on there, you do not want to put it on the same direction you're going to tighten it up. If you do that, your thread, your pipe thread, the tape and everything will come off. So if it's a righty-tighty, you want to do this lefty-loosey. That way, as you're screwing this on there, your tape will stay on and it will not shred off and stuff like that. I'm very happy the way all my tape looks. Everything looks very professional. Again, this is my 75 PSI relief valve. This is a ball valve here. These are both 1/2 inch thread. These are inch thread, I think. And then as you can see on the inside, my tape is still intact, which is good because this right here is also dissimilar metals. I try to do everything that was stainless steel. Because the T connection, as well as the portion on the bottom of the tank, they're stainless steel. Unfortunately, I could not find a relief valve, and I could not find a freaking drain valve that were stainless steel. So these are brass. So by having that tape there between the two metals, that's going to stop some of that dissimilar metal corrosion that's going to take place. I was able to find this 4 or 5 inch long, 1/4 inch little pipe there. That's going to be the pressure valve that goes on top. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and connect this on to the fittings that I have down there. And then I will add my pressure switch on top. But anyways, long story short, this is the way to go. This is so much easier doing it here on a table than Vice having to do it down there in the dark on that tank. So I'm very happy with this design. And also, not shown here, but the way that connection is, there's a gasket on the inside, so I don't have to pipe thread this connection right here. I will have to pipe thread this, and I'll go ahead and probably do that before I get it down there. No, I'll do it in place down there because my hand's gonna be all over this. I don't want to mess it up. Anyways, I'm very happy that there's a gasket and there is a seal. So you can see there's a lip right there, so it gets into there. Very happy with that type of connection. So yeah, let's put everything together. I think everything looks good. This should go swimmingly. Stand by. Well, folks, I spoke just a smidge too soon. And I didn't realize this until I just made this connection. Everything here worked out really well, except the distance between here. I'm going to use my old pressure valve here. Look at that. I missed it by that much. So, I could probably go shorter. Damn it. The only other option I could do is I could get, I think this is a 10-inch length here. I could get the 13-inch. If I get the 13-inch, that will move that out far enough. So I got to run back to Menards and go get the 13-incher. Hot dang. So freaking close. That was really close. Almost. That's all right. We'll go to Menards and give them some more money today. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so they didn't have a longer T extension, but I have a coupler and a 4-inch extension. That right there will give me the distance I need off the tank to ensure that I can add on the pressure switch. So let me go ahead, add these onto there. The good thing is everything is super easy to disconnect. I don't even have to disconnect my fitting that I did there from the old line. I'm just going to disconnect the flange there on the T, go onto the bottom side, and add these. Easy peasy. Okay, so we've added the extensions onto there. We got the coupler with the 4-inch extension and everything. We're going to go ahead and feed that onto the bottom of the tank there, and that'll get us the distance required to add the pressure switch onto the tank. Then we can get everything back up and operational again because, yeah, I think it's been down now for about 2 hours, so everyone needs to use the water here in the house, and I'm very anxious to see if all my connections are good. Okay, I've got everything connected. I'm going to go ahead and do an op test. So I'm going to have my son go over there, flip the breaker, and the only connection I'm worried about leaking is this one right here. Everything else I feel pretty confident with. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Okay. Do have a very, very slight leak, and you can see my pressure is going up. Make sure that thing kicks off. That leak ain't much, but we do have to address that. It's going to get up to 50 psi, and it should kick off. Okay, good. So that's good. Everything works. I don't have leaks anywhere else. Just that one section that I thought was going to leak. It's leaking. All right, let's figure out how to get that thing tightened up. Okay, folks, we've got all the leaks secured. There is one little problem. I say all the leaks. This valve right here does have a little leak by at the actual handle, so I gotta go take a look at that. But for right now, I'm content. Pressure's holding, pump's not kicking on. I call that a win. So there you go. Hope you like, subscribe. We'll see you around. Have fun, be safe. Talk to you later. All right, in true redneck fashion, Tommy's gonna haul this out there. Be gone, tank. Be gone into the sunset. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this sucker up. You know what, folks? In true fashion, though, what would make this more enjoyable? Let's go ahead and do a loop on the trail, towing this silly tank. I'll do that. This ought to be fun. Send her off right. think we'll set her up right here. Looks pretty good. Okay, so here's our order of operations. First shot's going to be a number 4 shot. Then it'll be number 1/0 buck, and then a number double-aught buck, excuse me. And you can see the first 2 are 2 3/4. This one's a 3-inch round. That'll be our 3 consecutive shots. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that opened up. As you saw, the number 4 shot didn't do anything, but that's okay.